hot summer news directly from Spain. Hello guys, Alina is here with you directly from Barcelona. So guys, as you remembered in the previous video, I told you that we had blackout, like really crazy blackout, almost during of the half year when Spain and partly Portugal were without any electricity. So no internet, no phones, no electricity. We were just like chilling on the street with some beer. Okay, even warm beer, because we didn't have even the refrigerators. So now, after 2 months, because sorry, in Spain sometimes we need some time for some stuff, okay, they find out why we had this blackout. So what they said, okay, shortly, they actually give like crazy report for 20 pages, but shortly summary, they say that it was inadequate contingency planning and low system resilience. They say it was failure of regulators to balance load at a critical moment. They say that they identify some vulnerabilities in digital security, and they say no evidence of external interference, so no cyber attack. So guys, if I will tell you by my kind of perception, it was a lot of sun, the system was not ready for that, and it was collapsed. Okay, but what I love about Spain, that actually when they find out that something is not working, what they do, they make it better. So actually now they have the idea to make the system itself kind of stronger to not have this problem again. I really hope so, because this blackout was like really black. Where do the smartest people of the country live in Spain? Actually, it's really interesting because the newspaper ABC asked our ChatGPT about who is the smartest people of the Spain and where they live. So first, ChatGPT pointed to Madrid, okay, so he says, not surprisingly, this is Spain's capital, home to its best universities, top research center, and many leading tech and medical companies are based in Madrid. So then we asked him kind of more, okay, so the question was, when the neutral network was asked to pick the smartest city in a broader sense, its choice surprised many. Barcelona. So, why Barcelona? It perfectly blends creativity in science, the city attracts talented people, Barcelona has a strong tradition of critical thinking and civic engagement, and city never stands still, from hosting the Olympics Games to becoming the Europe leading hub for technology. So, in short, although Madrid leads in terms of science and technology, the AI considers Barcelona to be the smartest and most inspiring city in Spain, a symbol of progress, ideas and creativity. Finally, Britain and the European Union signed agreement on Gibraltar status. Actually, it's so amazing because 15,000 people daily cross the border between Spain and Gibraltar to go for work. And every day they need to stand in the large collar, you know, in the large line to have the stamps, to check the documents. So now everything will be easier. You just need to show your document, your passport, and you can go, and you will not spend like hours on the border. So actually, it's amazing initiative, and I really like that finally they made it. Another amazing news directly from Spain, the Spanish startup ecosystem reached a record 110 billion euro, doubles in 5 years. So imagine guys, in 2025, the Spanish startup ecosystem hit a record milestone. Its total valuation surpassed 110 billion euro, doubling its 2020 figure. Actually, it's really interesting statistic because in 2024, Spanish startups, they got investment of almost 2 billion of euro. Imagine, 1.9, okay? But this year, only during these 6 months of 2025, the Spanish startup ecosystem already obtained 2 billion of investment. So in half year, double the amount of the last previous year. Why? Because actually in Spain we have really amazing startups, we have really amazing companies, and mainly they are working with green energy, they are working with AI, and they are working with medicine. So actually here today in Spain we have more than 17 startups that are called unicorns because they have billion euro of evaluation. It's huge because it means that it's not only a lot of startups are here. It means that a lot of investors and funds, they are here too, you know. So experts points out that Spain is solidifying its position as one of Europe's key startup hubs. However, to maintain this momentum, the country needs to further stimulate large financing rounds. So I hope that, in short, Spain is not only strengthening its role in the global tech industry, but also creating an attractive investment climate. Carrefour expands its network in Spain. They will open 100 new stores. So Carrefour is a French supermarket chain. They are opening everywhere. And imagine, in Spain they have 1,600 supermarkets. So like crazy, like almost 2,000 supermarkets. So Carrefour, they plan to open this franchise more than 100 supermarkets, new ones, and they say that 700 jobs to be created in 2025 because of that. So it's just amazing. We need more jobs. Best universities in Spain. So guys, if you are planning to study in Spain, you need to know the heroes of the ranking. Okay, so on the first place we have Autonomous University of Barcelona, second place University of Navarra, and third place Pompeu Fabra University, again in Barcelona. So actually it's interesting because it's the first time when Pompeu Fabra, it's not on the fourth place, it's on the third place, because last year on the third place it was Autonomous University of Madrid, but this year top three, it's two universities of Barcelona and one University of Navarra. Congratulations. A lot of people were asking me, like, Alina, what is about fines here in Spain? Are they kind of happen often? Guys, it's so often you cannot imagine. I found out really interesting statistics. So in Barcelona in 2024, 2 fines were issued every minute. Record level of traffic penalties. So if you're on the road, in the motor, in the bike or in the car, they can find you. And they can find you because they have really good cameras, they have really good eyes. So guys, I will just tell you my example. I live here in Spain 10 years and I was fined once. You know why? Because I passed for the red light with my bike. So I was actually like really relaxed on my bike and nobody's there, and it was red light, but nobody's there. So I just crossed, and in the same moment, pew, police. I don't know where they stand. I don't know how they see me, but they see me, and they give me the fine for 100 euros. So you know what? I'm not using the bikes anymore, and I'm not going on the red light anymore. So actually it's worked, you know, you don't want to pay a lot of fines. So imagine, over the last year, city authorities of Barcelona issued nearly 936,000 fines. So 1 million fines they issued last year. So imagine, if for one fine they charge you 50 euros, for example, it's 50 million euro they got for the city from the fines. So, of course, if you will come to Spain, you will see that people mostly, they drive always really safe. Why? Because they don't want to fines. Why? Because they already paid them. Another news, guys, that in Spain this summer is really hot. I just really feel like the temperature is really high, 31 here today in Barcelona, 35 in Madrid. In Sevilla it was 35 already in May. So I really feel like this August it will be really hot. So guys, if you are coming to Spain, please be aware of it, because you need to stay maybe closer to mountains and not closer to the beach. And if you're staying on the beach, please be careful with your skin, because I saw one video on TikTok where British girls, they came to Palma de Mallorca and they sunburned like in 1 hour, and they were like tomatoes girls, you know. So please be careful with your skin, please be careful with the sun, because in Spain, yeah, we have sun and we have a lot. Okay, so maybe it's even more than you expected. So please be careful in August. And of course, you need to understand that in the middle of the country, like Murcia, Zaragoza, Madrid, it's even hotter. And if you will go to the south part, like Andalusia part, Malaga, Sevilla, Granada, it will be even more hot there. So please be aware of it. It's always better to go maybe to islands. It's better maybe to go to some like not even Barcelona, but near Barcelona cities to kind of have a good temperature. Okay, and of course in Barcelona I feel like this year we have amazing huge amount of tourists. So guys, if you are coming with the family, again I will give you the same advice. Try to stay in the cities close to Barcelona. Maybe you don't need to stay in Barcelona to be surrounded by so many people. So near Barcelona we have amazing cities like Gavà, Castelldefels, Garraf, Sitges. if you go this side. And this side you can check like, for example, Santa Susana, Blanes, you can check Tossa del Mar, okay, Vilasar del Mar. So it's the points where it will be not so crowded, maybe it will be even a little bit cheaper, and you will stay like in the beautiful beach with the beautiful crystal clear water. Forbes names Deloitte España Best Employer of the 2025 year. So actually it's very interesting because according to Forbes, Deloitte España, the Spanish branch of the International Audit and Consulting Corporation, was named the best company to work for in Spain in 2025. So guys, the ranking is based on employee reviews of Deloitte and evaluations by the HR management experts. So guys, if you are searching for a job, you need to check Deloitte because you see, they say that the culture and employee well-being and the broad opportunities, it's really amazing in this company, and the recognition reflects Deloitte España commitment to creating a comfortable work environment and maintaining high employee motivation. So guys, if you are in search, you need to check this company. Okay guys, I think I have competitor here, and this competitor is living in Málaga on the beach. You know who is he? It's actually really interesting because it's only one of its kind, Nilo, the curly-haired lifesaver. The poodle becomes a beach hero in Málaga because, you know, like on the beaches we have a lot of like salvavidas, no? The guys and the girls who are working to check if everybody is okay, you know, so they are not working by themselves, they're mostly working with the animals, but mostly they have Labradors, okay? So in Malaga, this year, they decide not use only Labrador, but use this white poodle, who is really curly, really smiley, really beautiful, but really aware to save someone's life, okay? Because, you know, to be serious, actually the problem is big, because in Spain has registered 138 drowning incidents. So it's really important to have kind of possibility to react fast, and sometimes dogs, they can run really fast to the sea to kind of see where the person is, how to help, you know. So Nilo's photos have already gone viral on social media, and vacationers snap selfies with him, and children call him the fluffy rescuer. So guys, if you will go to Malaga, you are in safety, fluffy rescue area, okay? 3 Spanish pizzerias make the top 10 in the 50 Top Pizza Europa 2025 ranking. So every year they are registering 50 the best pizzerias of Europe, okay? So this year, on the second place in this Europe ranking, we have Baldoria Pizzeria from Madrid. On the third place, we have Sartoria Panettieri from Barcelona. And guys, I eat this pizza from this place. It's really amazing. You need to go there. It's near Avenida Diagonal, Sartoria Panettieri in Barcelona. And on the 8th place in this ranking, we have the pizzeria from Madrid again, Fratelli Figurato. Okay? So guys, you need to check these pizzerias because, you know, pizza is always a good idea. Freelancing in Spain is getting older and more female. Actually, it's really interesting statistics because, guys, imagine, in the last 4 years, the number of self-employed workers in Spain grew by 106,000 people. Okay, so 100,000 people in last 4 years start to be self-employed. Okay, but what is interesting that 47% of the all autonomous of the country, they are 50 years plus. Okay, so what is interesting that business in Spain, it's not for the young ones, you know, because I'm from Ukraine. In my country, like mostly all self-employed people, it's young men, okay, from 30 to 40, they have the business and they are kind of supporting and sponsoring their families, okay? But here in Spain, it's really interesting, like mostly it's women, and women who are 50 plus years old. So actually it's kind of totally another portrait, let's say, okay? So what is interesting that from the age of 30 to 49, the number of self-employed dropped by 72,000. Why? Because it's really hard to connect family with business, okay? So a lot of people, they decide to close their self-employed status and just go and be with the family and go to be employee, okay? So what is interesting here that of all new self-employed registration, nearly 72% is women, including roughly 65,000 over the age of 50. Imagine. So 65,000 in last 4 years, self-employed. It's women and with age more than 50 years old. So actually it's really interesting because surprisingly, business in Spain is female. Another important information about the documents, okay guys? So first of all, non-lucrative visa, Spain says one more time really clearly. If you want to have non-lucrative visa, you need to live in Spain more than 183 days. So before they were kind of a little bit soft with this, but now they say no. You need to live here and you don't need to work, because non-lucrative visas, the idea of this visa that you have already your passive income, maybe it's pension, maybe it's royalties, maybe it's dividends, and you cannot work not in Spain, not in another country. And a lot of people, they don't know this because they say, oh, I will not work in Spain, but they're working for another country and they're living in Spain. And Spain are saying, no, 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 for this you have digital nomad visa, because digital nomad visa is exactly for that. You have job there, you will work here, but you will pay taxes here. So now for non-lucrative visa, logic is the same. If you plan to live in Spain and obtain this visa, you need to understand that you don't have permission to work, not in Spain and not for another country in Spain, because you will reside in Spain, okay? So be really accountable about that, because if you plan to work, it's better to obtain visa with work permit, okay? So for example, high qualified visa, EU blue card, or digital nomad. And about digital nomad visa, guys, really amazing news. We count with my dream team in my company, Dreamlife, my relocation company, that we don't have any denegation on this visa during 2 years that we work with this visa. So actually it's amazing statistic. Of course, like this year, I feel like they start to be a little bit more harsh on this visa, because before the list of the documents were a little bit kind of easier than now, because now, for example, Spain, they're asking to prove all the professional experience of the previous year, and in different countries this experience you can prove by different documents, because in Spain they have a document that's called Vida Laboral, so it's really easy, you can download it online, but in some countries you need to go to some, I don't know, some different bureaucratic organizations to obtain these forms, like it called T2 in States, for example. In Canada, they have separate certificate for that. In Germany, it's called A1, you know, A1 form. So in different countries, this form is different. So you need to find this form. It's have to be original. It's have to be apostilled. Now they ask about apostilled of different documents that they didn't ask before. So guys, please, if you need help with digital nomad visa, just contact us today, because we know how to obtain the visa. We know what they're asking for, and we will kind of help you before, because a lot of people, they're coming from different like companies to us and they're saying, we have denegation. And when we check the list of the documents, they give like a half of what they need to actually show. And I say, but why you didn't show everything what they asked? And they say, no, we were thinking that it's enough. You know, so actually when we are applying for digital nomad visa in my company, we are showing like different 30 documents, you know. So you need to understand that you need to prove that you are a big professional, that you have experience, that you have the salary, that this company exists, that you worked before. Everything needs to be translated and apostilled. So it's a little bit like more difficult than it sounds, but still digital nomad visa, it's really worth it, because you will obtain 3 years work permit here in Spain. And what I like, that you can switch digital nomad visa to another type of visa. So what a lot of people do, they're coming with digital nomad visa, they're working for another company, but if they will find some job here in Spain, what they do, they change digital nomad visa for standard normal work visa here in Spain, and they continue to work in Spain. Because I always said that to find the job in Spain, it's kind of really hard if you will try to do it from abroad, because you need to understand that here in Spain we already have a lot of people who are searching for the job, and you can meet them personally, you can talk, they already have the documents, yes. So for employer it's not so many moves, you know. But if you are writing from abroad, of course they understand, oh, I need to make papers, so I need to make the moves. They are lazy to make it, you know. So I always say that it's better to come here with another permit or digital nomad or student visa, and from here start to search for work. And then when you will find it, switch one visa for another visa. A record number of foreigners live in Barcelona. Guys, imagine 26% of population in 2025 here in Barcelona are foreigners. And the city is home to people from 182 nationalities. Most foreigners, around 330,000, come from Latin America. So they are followed by Europeans from other countries who are not Spanish citizens. And the largest foreign communities are Argentinians, over 50,000, Colombians, Peruvians, Venezuelans, Pakistanis, Moroccans, Ecuadorians, Italians, Hondurans, and Chinese. So what is interesting that Italians have again become the largest foreign group here in Barcelona, numbering 53,000 people, partly due to dual citizenship agreements, for example, with Argentina. And the geography of foreign residents is uneven, okay? So the neighborhoods of Eixample, San Martí, and Ciutat Vella have the highest number of foreigners, okay? So if you want to live near of all another expats, you need to live in these three zones, okay? Eixample, San Martí, and Ciutat Vella. Number of foreigners in Horta Guinardó, nobody. San Andreu, there are a little bit less, and mostly Americans live there. And in San Gervasi and Gracia, more Europeans from other countries. And Asians mostly live in Ciutat Vella, I even know where, near Arc de Triomphe, okay? Because there we have the zone, it's called Chinatown. Foreigners are average younger than Spaniards, okay? So their average age is 35, 36 years versus 47 of Spaniards, okay? So actually it's interesting because Barcelona continues to be one of the most multicultural and dynamic cities in Europe and of course in Spain. In Catalonia, they launched totally new program, interest-free loan program for youth to buy first home in Catalonia. Actually, the plan is amazing. If you are aged from 18 to 35, and you don't have to be only Catalonian or Spanish, you can be foreigner too. If you have age from 18 to 35, if you are registered in Catalonia, if you have legal status for now, you can have the loan of 50,000 euro. So in this program, you can have the 50,000 euro loan, and with this loan, you can make the first payment of the mortgage. And then you can obtain a mortgage that will be kind of without a percentage or really low percentage. So for example, 2%. You know, so what is good here that actually if you don't have a big salary and if you are really young, they can give you this support. And actually I think it's amazing because the idea is that you need to be young, that you need to live in Catalonia, and your yearly earnings of your family need to be not more than 81,000 euro per year for family. Okay, so the idea is that you will live in this place, you cannot rent this place first 3 years, and you will have this loan without any kind of interest, you know. So I think actually it's really good idea because a lot of youngish people now here in Catalonia, they cannot afford a loan, and actually in Spain a lot of people they're paying mortgage, and mortgage is something like really common here, but a lot of people they don't have enough money for mortgage. Because I actually a couple of days ago read one article about that a lot of Germans they are buying flats in Palma de Mallorca, and for them to have mortgage here in Spain is really cheap because they have salaries, kind of average salary like 5,000-6,000 euro per month. So to pay, I don't know, 500 per flat per month for mortgage, for them it's kind of nothing. But you need to understand that average Spanish person, they have salary 1,500 or maybe 2,000. So from this money, 500 or 1,000, it's a lot. You know, so of course a lot of young people, even if they have work, even if they have salary, it's still not enough to obtain enough money, to save enough money to actually buy proper flats. So now what they do, they will help for that. How many years does it take to save money for buying property here in Spain? Actually, it's really interesting because I was searching for different information about that, and I was really surprised that most affordable country for buying housing in Europe is Denmark. Guys. So you need to save 114 average salaries, which equals 9 years and 6 months of work. So for example, if you are working in Denmark and you have average salary of Denmark and you save all this amount of money every month, in 9 years you will have enough savings to buy housing in Denmark. Okay, and let's go with another countries. So Ireland, you need to work 123 salaries, you need to work 10 years and 3 months to buy the flat in this country. In Sweden, you need to work 129 salaries to obtain and work 10 years and 9 months, mostly almost 11 years. And for comparison, in Spain, it takes 132 average salaries to save, or about 11 years of work to buy a typical apartment. So actually it's not so bad, okay? The situation is more difficult, for example, in Portugal. To buy a home, you need to save 234 salaries, nearly 20 years of fully savings, okay? Or 40 years if you will save half of your salary every month. Other Eastern European countries show even longer saving periods, okay? So Hungary, 236 salaries, almost 20 years. Poland, 20 years and 2 months, 242 salaries, Czech Republic 274 salaries, and Slovakia 297 salaries. So 300 salaries you need to save, 25 years you need to save to buy something in Slovakia. So actually it's really interesting statistic because in a lot of countries we have really unfair, like, you know, balance between salaries and apartments. So or salaries are really low and apartments cost too much, or you know, vice versa. So of course it's better when you have higher salary and low prices on properties. But of course, if country is really popular, is for example Spain is lately, of course the prices will always grow and salaries not so. So every edition of the Spanish news, I'm sharing with you not only news from the country, but I'm sharing my news. So I visited Monaco this time with my friends. We actually sit in the car and we just went to France and we visit Nice and Cannes. And on our way, we found out that it will be Grand Prix in Monaco, and we just think, why not? And we went there, and it was an amazing trip. So guys, if you are in Barcelona, you need to know that 7-8 hours driving by car, and you will be there on French Riviera, and it's just beautiful, it's just amazing, it's totally another vibe. And I love France. I'm not so in love with the French people, sorry, but I love the countryside, I love the beaches of Nice and Cannes, and Monaco, of course, it's just posh, it's just luxurious, it's just beautiful. And Grand Prix, actually, it's really addicting. I understand why people are so crazy about Grand Prix, because when you see this and this sound, you know, it's everywhere in Monaco is this sound, and it's actually, you start to be kind of, oh, what is it? I want to see it. What is going on? You know, so it's really catchy, it's really interesting, and it's really small space, and all people there, even Jeff Bezos was there, you know, and everybody is just watching. And I saw like Lando, the guy from UK who won, like really close to myself, and I was really surprised that it's so possible, so easy. We just came 2 hours before, we just buy some tickets on Viagogo for €100, and we saw Grand Prix. So it was easier than I expected. We didn't spend like millions of euro on that. And another, my dream came true, you know. I actually was thinking that, wow, once I want to see the Formula One, and I did it, okay. And another, I was visiting my friend in Lloret de Mar, so I have some videos for you from there. The weather was not so good, but what I like about these small cities near Barcelona, that it's totally kind of calm and totally sunny and totally kind of, you know, like in Barcelona, it's always buzz, it's always noise, it's a lot of going on. But you go there, half hour from the Barcelona, and you're just on another planet. Everything is really chill, everything is really calm, water is there, buildings are there, trees are there, and people are there somewhere. You know, so it's really calm, it's really good. So I think, guys, if you're in Barcelona, you definitely need to make like these day trips around to kind of finally be in silence, okay? And about silence, we have San Juan. So it was not silent at all, because it was huge celebration. We here in Spain, we are calling this second New Year, okay? So it's the start of the summer that we are celebrating with fireworks and petards and fireplaces. So it's crazy, it's huge, it's really noisy. So a lot of people, they actually move with the pets outside, because a lot of dogs and cats, they just cannot kind of stand this. But San Juan this year, it was really huge, really massive, and metro in Barcelona were circulating all night long. It was like 60,000 people on the beach till 6 a.m. So I told you, like Barcelona, we know how to party, we know how to have a good time. Primavera were huge, Sonar were huge, and we still waiting for Cruilla and another musical festival. And in Madrid we will have Mad Cool soon. So guys, what I like about Spain, that it's not only about sun and beach and life and work. It's about relaxing, it's about chilling on the beach, chilling on the musical festivals and enjoying the life, okay? So if you want to move to Spain, you know that you need to contact me and my dream team, and we will help you with all the steps. So here is the fresh edition of Spanish news, and guys, I have really good idea, and please support me here. I think that every month I will create new video for you, and it will called News of Europe, because I want to share with you more information, so not only from Spain but from another countries of our amazing continent, just for you to understand what is going on this part of the planet. So if you are into it, please write here in comment section, I want more news from Alina, and I will create new edition for you, because I think it will be interesting, even for myself, you know, to read more, to learn more, to find out more about amazing different countries and their amazing interesting news. So if you want to see more news from me, please write here in section below, Alina, I wanna more news. So guys, don't forget to subscribe, and see you in the next ones. Ciao, ciao, besitos, abracitos.